Hello everyone, Mike Arce here again for another free training. This time it's going to be 100% exclusively on sales, and I'm willing to bet this is probably going to be one of my best trainings that I've done yet on the topic. So I'm very excited to get started. If you guys don't already, make sure you follow me. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. There's a ton of different places, but we always are sharing more valuable information and resources for fitness studios and gyms, like what you're going to be getting here today. So today the topic is 7 ways to drastically increase sales and do it in your fitness studio or gym. Now, truth be told, there are a heck of a lot more ways than just 7 to grow your fitness studio or gym and drastically increase sales in your studio or gym. A heck of a lot more than 7. However, for the sake of training and making sure that we get not too much out in just an hour, we're probably going to spend about a half hour to an hour with each other here today. I wanted to make sure that we kept it here, and then we'll obviously do more and more future trainings as we go on more ways to increase sales. Now, the interest, hold on, Mike clicking, McKenna? It's not moving. Hang on, guys. There we go. Okay, so you guys can see my screen? Yes. Okay, so one thing I do want to tell you is I will make you a promise, and the promise that I'm making here today is this will be the most valuable sales training video that you've ever watched in your entire life. That's a pretty bold statement. I know there's a lot of really good sales training videos out there, a lot of incredible people in sales out there teaching some stuff, but I know what we're talking about here. I've gotten a chance to work with the best of the best in the industry. I've gotten a chance to learn and teach some of the best in the industry, and these things that we've aggregated and put here all in one spot for you today, this is some of the best stuff that I've seen. So I'm excited to share it with you guys. Also, make sure that you remember that this is fully interactive, 100% interactive. So you can ask questions. We'll actually put stuff on the screen, as you see we're already doing. And if it's relevant, we'll go ahead and answer the questions. We might actually just wait till the end to answer questions. We'll just see kind of how it goes. But nice to see everybody on right now. And what I'd like you all to do is make sure you grab a pen and grab a paper. If you don't, you'll wish that you did, so go ahead and do so now. If you feel like you just want to take notes on your computer, that's fine too. Just make sure you can toggle back and forth, because I'm going to be sharing a lot of resources with you guys. I'm going to give you about 7 to 8 hours worth of training inside of less than an hour, and the way that I'm going to do it is by giving you access to resources that you can go and learn more in detail on your own. So there's going to be a lot that you're going to be able to walk away from with this particular training. As mentioned, there are a heck of a lot more ways than just 7 to grow and increase sales in your gym. So in order for the sake of time, we're going to be doing more in future training. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also comment. Like I said, interact here. And even if you're not watching live, comment in the box, even if you're watching it as a replay, because I'll be able to answer your questions, or my team and I will be able to answer your questions down the road if you want links to resources or anything else that we're going to be talking about here in today's training. Okay, so 7 ways to drastically increase sales. The funny thing is, even though there are a heck of a lot more ways to do it than just 7, there's 3 main categories on how you can increase sales. First one is obvious: get more members, right? That's one way that we can increase sales, increase revenue in your business, is get more members. Number 2 is sell more to your existing members. How can we get our members to spend more money with us and actually get more value as well? And number 3, increasing pricing. There's a lot of ways to get more members than just one. There's a lot of ways to sell more to your members, whether it's ancillary products, whether it's upselling, cross-selling into other things. We're going to talk about that as well. And then there's also increased price. There's a lot of ways to increase pricing. A lot of people think it's just, okay, well, let's just raise our pricing. Well, in the perfect world, that would happen, and there wouldn't be too much drawback to it. Unfortunately, we don't live in the perfect world. We live in the world that we live in, and a lot of people don't like price increases. So there's ways to increase pricing via introducing new products that have different value adds and different perceived value points, and just happen to be priced at a little bit higher of a price point. But it makes sense. It's relative to the increase in price versus the products that you currently have. So those are other things that we're going to be talking about as well. Okay, for those of you that don't know me, I'm the CEO of Loud Rumor. Here we help fitness studios grow and get more members, over 2,000 studios and over 50 franchises throughout the entire world. And if you ask me or anybody on my team, and a lot of our members, if not all of our members, we are absolutely the best at what we do. And we also founded Loud Rumor Virtual Training, or LRVT as our members know it. And it's the best business training program for fitness studios and gyms on the planet. We literally fly in the most successful fitness studio owners and gym owners from all over the world to come into this studio where I'm at right now and actually teach you what they do in the thing that they're incredible at. Some of them, they're remarkable in sales or upselling, cross-selling, retail sales, retention, finance, operations, referrals, hiring, firing, PR, HR, you name it. So every studio has strengths. The best have more strengths. And usually everyone's got one really, really solid strength. We find out what those are, we bring them in, and they actually teach a step-by-step exact strategy that you can follow on how to do it in those respective categories. And all that's available to our members. Again, this is a big reason why they grow so fast and in a way that has a lot less stress because you're very confident in the things that you're testing. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to loudrumorvt.com. And also, if you're not following the GSD Show, make sure you find it on iTunes, on Spotify, on YouTube, Google, we have it everywhere. So just the GSD Show, we interview the people I was just telling you about. We interview them, the most successful fitness studios and gym owners from all over the world to come in, as well as other business experts that we've got as well. And I go in there regularly and teach little snippets like a lot of what you're going to learn today and in other trainings that we have, maybe like 5 to 7, maybe 8-minute segments of those particular things. So just really quick strategic trainings that you can get while you're driving, while you're working out, while you're getting ready in the morning, you name it. And lastly, GSDCon, which is the top conference and expo for fitness studios and gyms in the world. We bring the same types of people in to come and speak on stage, and you are literally elbow to elbow with some of the best in the industry, and they are the types of people that invest time, they invest money to make sure that they're successful in the industry that they've committed to, and you get to be elbow to elbow with them. You're a product of your environment. You know that's why you want your kids hanging out with really good kids, and you want them staying away from really bad, lazy kids. It's because you know your kids will become a product of that environment. It doesn't change when you get older. You just have more choice. It doesn't change, and so if you can become a product of your environment, put yourself in the environment where the most successful thrive, and you'll see that that actually helps you lead to success as well. Okay, so 2,000 fitness gyms. I talked to you about that. Fitness studios, 50+ franchise. What have I learned? I had to have learned a lot from that, right? So I realized that everyone wants the same 3 things. Here are the 3 main wants that every fitness studio owner wants, right? Number 1, I want a very profitable business. Not just profitable. I don't want to just make $1,000 or $2,000. I want a very profitable business. So I'm going to take all this risk. If I'm going to invest this much money, this much time, I'm going to sleep this little, I'm going to stress this much, I'm going to put this much at stake. I shouldn't be walking away profiting $1,000 to $2,000 a month, or $3,000 a month, or even $5,000 a month, because there's just too much that you put on the plate, right? Too much. And so if you're going to do this, it's a big risk, right? The big risk should have big rewards. You know, the best poker players gamble when they sit down at the table, but the ones that are the best, they gamble a lot less. They just understand the rules of the game. The people that gamble the most are the people that understand poker the least. And same thing with business. To gamble, you see it. More than 90% of businesses fail inside of 10 years. Well, it's not because you win some, you lose some make it, some don't make it. The people that truly understand the game, they succeed. They continue to open up more and more businesses that thrive and succeed. The people that don't understand the game, it's like they can't get anything right, or they're stuck. And then you got people in the middle that they're kind of good, but they hit plateaus and they hit thresholds. And we want everyone to succeed past that. So number 1 is everyone wants a very profitable business. And you should get one, by the way. It's a lot that you put in. Number 2, a business that runs without you. It's awesome to make good money, but if you're working 60, 70 hours a week, it's going to be very hard to continue to scale that and multiply those results into other locations or other businesses. So really what you don't want is to run a business. A lot of people here run a business. You don't want to run a business. You want to own a business that runs. You have great people running great plays that equal a great business. And so that's really important because you need your time. Time's the most valuable asset you have. And if we can get you increasing the revenue and increasing sales and growing and having a good culture, and at the same time, you being able to just go into the studio a few hours a week to check in on things and make sure your leaders are actually running a good operation, that allows you to have the sense, it just makes sense to do this again and again and again and again. So very profitable business, one that runs without you, and third, that delivers a really good product. Obviously, we want to make sure that it's something we could be proud of. We're excited. We have members that say stories, that the ones that keep you pushing is those stories, right? I've never felt better in my life. I've never felt more confident. I've never been so happy. These are the stories that keep entrepreneurs energized and push through doing the unsensible, which is working for very little pay in the very beginning. But we want to continue doing that even as we thrive, even as we succeed. So a very profitable business that runs without you and delivers a really good product. Everyone, please use the comments and let me know if you agree that that would equal success. If you had a very profitable business that ran without you and delivers a really good product, you would say, that is success. I love that. I love the idea. That's something I could be proud of. Use the comments and let me know, and we'll put those up on the screen. Now, here's the cool thing. A drastic increase in sales helps all three of these. Obviously, a drastic increase in sales equals a very profitable business, unless you're increasing costs in ratio to the revenue coming in, which is very hard to do. You'd have to be very poor at managing money in order to do that. So obviously, it helps that. Number two, one that runs without you. Having more revenue, more profits allows you to afford the best people, the best software, the best systems, the best coaching to constantly develop your people, right? Your people should be improving every year. If your people aren't growing, if they're not significantly better than they were the year before, what's going to happen is they're not going to have a really good growth trajectory, and you're going to lose them within a year or two. And so because of that, you're going to have turnover that costs sales, okay? You want your people to stay with you as long as they can, as long as you can, and the only way that happens is if they're happy and they see a future in their career here. And so you want to constantly develop your people, get coaching from them, get programs for them, recommend books for them, hold them accountable to learning. And that alone will, in a year from now, 2 years from now, equal a business that is not only growing without you, but it's growing and it's got a great culture. And third, delivers a really good product. Obviously, if you make more sales, you have more revenue, more profits. Essentially, you should as well, where you can have better technology, you can have a better atmosphere, better paint on the walls, better equipment. All that stuff equals just a better product in general. So let's talk about today's training, 7 ways to drastically increase sales. And let's get started with number 1. Now we're going to go down the list, 1 through 7, okay? Now, number 1, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on, just because I believe it's the most important thing. And here's what I mean by that. Your members know how to get in better shape without you. They may not know how to get in as good of a shape as they could with you, but they know how to get in better shape without you. Most people generally know what to eat in order to be healthier. They generally know what not to eat. They know how to move, what general exercises or workouts they can do, that they have to hydrate. They should stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking. They generally have a good sense of what they need to do. The problem is they don't have the right mentality. So their brain's not wired for it. And what happens is, because their brain's not wired for success, they make very unsuccessful moves and they create unsuccessful habits. And those habits lead to an unsuccessful life. And so for you guys as well, most people don't think they need what I'm about to share, but everyone that's successful will tell you that is the most important ingredient, the number 1. So the least successful thinks they don't need it. The most successful contributes most of their success to this point. Is that interesting? So let's talk about it. So number 1 is sales commandments. The mentality of a sales professional, how a real sales professional thinks. And what I'm going to be sharing with you here today are the principles and commandments of the most successful fitness studio owners I work with, the most successful business owners in general that I know use, and here at Loud Rumor, my salespeople, myself, and all the other people at Loud Rumor, we believe in as well. And those that adopt these commandments I'm about to share with you, they tend to dominate. So what is sales? So I want to hear first where you stand on this. So what I'd like you to do is use the comment box right now, and I'm going to put these up on the screen. I'm interested in hear what they are. Don't be shy. And I want you to imagine your daughter or your nephew or somebody new in business asked you, what is sales? Like, what's your definition of sales? Dad, what is sales to you? Don't give me the exact definition. Give me your definition. Go ahead and use the comment box and let me know what you think. All right, so what is your definition of sales? Now, if you look up the actual definition of sales, the literal definition, it's something like trading monetary, it's the exchange of monetary goods for goods or something like that. And Derek, I see you have solving problems. Brittany, solving someone's problem. Yes, that's overall what the business does, right? Which sales is the leading part of that. A lot of people say solving problems. I love that. Yes, you guys are really good. You guys are really good. Okay, good. So I want to give you my definition of sales because I believe that all of you are right. Solving problems is definitely a part of it, but I want you to see how I think this actually is defined. So to me, sales is an interaction where a salesperson learns the wants and needs of a prospect or the problems, the challenges they have, and matches a solution with their product or service. Now here's an important part. And presents it in a way where both parties are excited to move forward. That's an important part. A lot of people know what the problems are and how to find them. A lot of people know how to solve them. But where a lot of salespeople struggle, that piece that they miss is the ability to present it in a way where both parties are excited, like excited. They can't wait for day one. They're excited to move forward. That's the most important part. So we're going to make sure we want to talk about that. When you really understand sales, it's actually a really fun game to play. What you tend to hear from amateurs are phrases like, but I don't like salespeople. And that's not true. That's not true. You don't like bad salespeople, and I'll prove it to you. So I've never met anybody that says, I don't like music. I've heard people say I don't like certain types of music. I don't like bad music. I don't like country music. I don't like opera. I don't like what. I've heard that stuff before. What I haven't heard anybody ever say is, I just hate music. I hate all music. No matter what song is on, I hate it. No matter what style, I hate it. It doesn't happen. People tend to love music in general, and they're just maybe categories they love more. But what we don't like is bad music. If the person singing can't sing, if they're out of note, if they're out of key, if the instruments sound poor, if the rhythm's weird, too fast, too slow, whatever it is, we want to turn it off. We want to get away from it. And we don't ever want to play that song again. We don't want to recommend anybody ever listen to that song. And if anybody ever recommends we listen to that song, we're like, dude, that song was bad. I don't want to go near it. It was bad. So we like music. We love music. We just hate bad music. Same thing with food. I've never heard anybody say, I hate food. I just don't like food. No, you like categories of food more than others, but everyone loves food. But we don't like bad food. If I go to a restaurant and the food was weird, it was extra spicy or too seasoned, or it was very unseasoned, it was bland, whatever it was, if the food was bad or rotten tasting, I don't want it. It has nothing to do with food, it has to do with bad food. And I'll never recommend anybody go to that restaurant, and I recommend people stay away from it. And if anyone wants to pull me there, I'll say no, right? And with sports, very hard to find people say, I hate sports, all sports, no matter what sport it is, running, swimming, basketball, it doesn't matter, I hate sport. No, it's not that. I don't like bad sports, right? If I go to a football game and Tom Brady, every ball he throws is flipping and flopping in the air, can't make a spiral no matter what he does, and if he hits someone right in the chest, it bounces off him. At the end of a long, crazy, chaotic game, it ends up being 0-0. They'll look up at the end of the game, the whole stands are empty. No one's watching that game. You're leaving early. We love sports. We hate bad sports. And so the reason these people are admired and the reason we love these things is not because we actually love the thing itself. We love when we see professionals do it. Tom Brady knows how to play the game at the highest level, so it's just enjoyable to watch. The food prepared by people that really know how to cook, it's just enjoyable to taste. And Frank Sinatra, man, that guy can sing, and so it's just enjoyable to listen to. And I've met salespeople that I've said, man, you did a really good job today. That was actually, you're one of the best salespeople I've met with. And it was fun, and I wanted other people to meet with them. And so that happens, right? So it's not that we don't like salespeople, we don't like bad salespeople. Now, why is it that we don't think of that with food and music and football? Why are we thinking this for the first time now? Well, because there's way more bad salespeople that we encounter on a regular basis, untrained, unprofessional, misled salespeople that we meet on a regular basis than good ones. So if most food tastes bad and only once in a while you taste something that's good, you're going to think in general food is gross. If most music sucks, you're going to think generally music sucks. So truth is, most salespeople just tend to suck. Okay, another phrase you can hear amateurs say is, I'm not a salesperson. If you have employees, you've probably heard stuff like this before from them. I'm not a salesperson. But the truth is, yes, you are. So I'd like to introduce you to Kelsey Shumway. Kelsey's my former executive assistant. Hired her back in January of 2017, and she was my executive assistant until May of 2020, so just this year. And in the first few weeks of her joining Loud Rumor, I told her, I was like, hey, look, I really want you to go through sales training. And she said, Mike, I don't want to go through sales training. I don't like sales. That's not my thing. I'm not a salesperson. I don't even like salespeople. And I said, that's fantastic. That's an awesome insight. Unfortunately, you represent me, and you represent a company that specializes in sales and marketing. So if you're not going to understand it at least a foundational level, this isn't going to work. So I need you to go to sales training. You represent me. You're going to be selling stuff. Reluctantly, she did it. She didn't want to do it. You could tell she gave me a little eye roll, right? And she went in anyway. Well, day 2, day 3, day 4, you could see Kelsey. She just wasn't having fun. She was looking for a way to get out if she could, right? Was still curious why she was there. By second week, she's starting to really engage. She's starting to contribute to the sessions. We do training every day from 7:30 to 8 here. And by week 3, by week 4, she's laughing and she's actually getting the hang of it. She's keeping her own with everybody else, right? And so you fast forward to May of 2020. Well, did Kelsey get fired? What happened in May? No, she didn't get fired. She had asked me back in April, the month before, because she was doing so good in sales, if she could be promoted to sales manager. So since May of 2020 now, 4 or 5 months, Kelsey, the person that hated sales, that's not a salesperson, that doesn't want anything to do with sales, hates the idea of it, doesn't want anything to do with it, is asking me to now lead, manage, and train and develop my current salespeople, my whole sales team. That's what she does. So here's what happens. People don't like what they're not good at, and people aren't good at what they don't train to be good at. I want you to remember that phrase. People don't like what they're not good at, right? Whether it's a boy playing basketball and he's uncomfortable, so he's standing in the middle of the court, and they aren't good at what they don't train to be good at. You get that kid to develop a lot better, and you notice him really get into it and get excited. I know that because it happened with my son. He hated basketball in the very beginning. He just stood there and all the game went by, and his mom was like, maybe we should take him out. It doesn't look like he likes it. I said, no, he doesn't like it because he's uncomfortable with making a mistake in front of all these people. Once we get him to develop a little bit, he'll like it a lot more. Now, I didn't care if my son became a basketball player. I wanted to use basketball or any sport as a tool for him to learn. If you practice anything enough, you'll get good at it. And we did. And next thing you know, first game he scored a basket. He actually scored 8 points because that cheer was addicting. He knew it was good. And he shot it again, and he shot it again, and he shot it again. Next thing you know, he's running 3 leagues in the same season. And he's excited for the games, right? So that's the difference between liking sales and not liking sales, or liking anything and not liking anything. Your ability to be good at it. Someone knows how to sing, they look for opportunities to sing. Guy knows how to play the guitar, goes to a party, sees a guitar in the corner, he finds an excuse to pick it up and play something, right? Somebody doesn't know how to sing, somebody doesn't know how to dance, they kind of stay out of the light, right? So sales, you notice the same thing. You want people to be good at something and like it, you got to train. Everyone wants, here's something that's very good for your people to know, and for you as well, everyone wants what you sell. You have such a luxury. See, dentists don't have this luxury. Nobody's saying like, oh man, I'm dying to get a root canal. I can't wait to get this cavity so I can go ahead and get this thing filled. No one's saying that, right? People actually get excited to go to the gym once you get them in there and they start working out. People love the results of it too, right? So you're never, I don't care how many times I go to the dentist, I'm never gonna go, you know, I'm starting to like this now. I'm really getting used to it. I like it. No, I hate the dentist every time I go. But with the gym, man, I can start liking this thing. And that liking it gets me better at it, and I get more of what I want. That's such an awesome industry that you guys are in. Now, the cool thing is, there's never a peak to that, because we always want more. Arnold Schwarzenegger, in his prime, would have taken 1% less body fat and 1 pound more of muscle. You guys agree with that? You guys ever watch anything about Arnold Schwarzenegger? How many of you would agree that this guy in his prime, which was an incredible prime, would have still at that point taken 1 pound more of muscle and 1% less body fat, right? And that's him. Imagine what the average mom is feeling. She, of course, is always looking for better. People want better all the time. Now, this is important because a phrase that you're going to hear a lot of people say is, Mike, the only reason they came in is because they had a free pass. I hear this from time to time. So what happened? Why didn't you get sales? Mike, the free week pass sucks. The only reason they came in is because they had a free pass. They have no intention on joining. They only came in because they had a free pass. I really want you to think of how silly that sounds for a second. If you can't make out how that's silly, I'm going to help you understand how it's silly, okay? These are all the other things that they could have done other than your trial. All the things, right? Keep in mind, you're a fitness person. You probably feel uncomfortable working out. If you miss a workout, you feel uncomfortable. For these guys, they're uncomfortable going to the gym. They've been 6 months sometimes, 8 months, a year, sometimes longer. They haven't gone to the gym. You think they're comfortable? And if they're not comfortable and they're not good at it, you think they like it? So you think they got this free pass and they said, I got a free pass, we should really use this thing. You know how many gift cards I've got in my wallet? How many gift cards I've got at home that I haven't used? How many of you got, I can't remember the exact number, but it's like 60-some% of gift cards remain unused. Why gift card business is such an incredible industry. Because people spend $100 on a gift card and 60% of people aren't going to use it. That's just free money for the business. So you really think they went in just for a free pass when they could have watched Netflix, went on social media, spent time with their spouse, played with their kids, called their mom and dad, seen their friends, walked their dogs, cleaned the house, read a book, cook, shop, sleep, eat, watch the GSD show. They could have done a million things with their time that they're already comfortable and used to doing. And you think that they went in just because they had a free pass? Trust me, they weren't there just because they had a free pass. Something's there. They wanted something. They wanted something more. They were hoping for something. They were hoping it felt good. They were hoping it motivated them. They were hoping they performed better. They were hoping that something about this felt different and they could actually make a change. So don't for 1 second ever say this, because the easiest way for me to identify a rookie in the industry, don't for 1 second ever say they're just here because they had a free pass. That will never happen, okay? Next, you won't rely on people that have money. This is really important. I want to introduce you to this guy here. So here's what this guy said to me. He said, Mike, my demographic is someone that has money and is serious about getting in shape. Now, I hear this in many different ways. Mike.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
You heard Siri? I'm going to go ahead and turn her off, apparently. She thinks I'm talking to her. There we go. All right, back. There's always, every video I do, McKenna, there's always a thing. That's today's, okay? So it always comes in some form like that, right? So if it's not my demographic is someone who has money and is serious about getting in shape, it might be my demographic is somebody that has a good income and is serious about working out. My demographic is somebody that can afford our program and really wants to make a change, some way, shape, or form. By the way, you know who this guy is? This guy's everyone, okay? Everyone says this. Now imagine if your target is everyone's target, how much do you stand out? How difficult is it for you to compete with that? See, this is called a red ocean or bloody waters because every shark's in there. Where are the blue waters? Well, I'll tell you where the blue waters are. So when we say I want people that can afford to sign up with us or have the money to do this or whatever, and they're serious about getting in shape or they're serious about making a change, that is a hell of a lot more people than you think, and I can prove it. And by the way, this kind of stuff, what we're talking about right here, none of the strategies we'll talk about will work unless we get this right. That's why we're talking about this, okay? More people than you think, and I can prove it. People buy what they can't afford every single day, if they want it bad enough. So here's some stats for you, and you can go ahead and cross-reference, or what's the popular phrase these days, fact check. You can fact check any of these. The average American spends $161 a month on clothes. Use the comment box right now and just let me know on average what your membership costs. Or actually, you know what? Use a comment and tell me what your entry level. Just tell me what your entry level membership costs. What's the least amount I can spend to come and work out in your studio? So the average American spends $161 a month on clothes. Me personally, I haven't bought clothes in 3 or 4 months. That means there's some people that are spending like $200, $300, $400 a month on clothes. On top of that, women spend 76% more than men each year on clothes. 76% more. That means there's women that are spending like $250, $300. The same women that can't afford it. The same women that need to talk to their husband, right? Don't need to talk to their husband about clothes, or their husband says yes to clothes but not the gym. Think about that, right? $5,331 in credit card debt. That's the average American credit card debt. I have no credit card debt. I know people that have my wife's got no credit card debt. That means there's people with $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 in credit card debt. And more than 80%, this is important, more than 80% of this debt is on non-essentials. Entertainment, going out to eat, vacations, widgets that they buy on Amazon and Best Buy and Walmart and stuff that they really don't need, right? 80% of this debt is on non-essentials. Use the comment box right now and tell me if you believe your studio, what you provide for the world, is essential or non-essential. Let me know what you think. Is health and wellness essential or non-essential? I'd love to hear what you guys say here, because if you say that and you know that Jane that walks in is spending 80% of her things that she can't afford because she's got $5,331 in credit card debt, and she's spending on non-essentials, what's your mindset at when you know that information, okay? Now, about people not being serious, 9 times per year. This is the number of times that the average American woman starts or restarts a diet. 9 times per year. Now you take people like my wife. My wife hasn't started a new diet in like 2-3 years. She's been doing the same general routine. So that means there's people that have like 18 different starts per year. Like every other week, they're like, okay, I got to get back in. I got to eat healthy. And then they quit. Oh, I got to get back on. I got to do it again. And then they quit. And I got to get back on. That's how often they start or restart, 9 times per year. And obviously some people a lot more. So for those that believe as well that, okay, maybe they have the money, maybe they're serious, but they don't have the time, let's break that limiting belief as well. I want to break every limiting belief for you to say, it's not me, it's them. Okay, here we go. 35 hours and 2 minutes. What's that number? That's a total time per week that the average American spends watching TV, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and YouTube combined. That's almost a full-time job. So people do more of what they want than what they need, right? We talked about that. This person that may not have the money chooses to not get another, technically a full-time job. He could have another full-time job. He'd rather watch TV or Netflix or Amazon and all that stuff, right? So it's not they don't have the time to come in and work out. It's not that they don't have the money, because even if they can't afford it, they're buying stuff that they can't afford anyway by putting on their credit card. And it's not that their husband won't approve it because they're spending 80% of stuff on non-essentials their husband's saying okay to. So what is it really? What it really is that we just haven't sold them and got them excited to join. We didn't get them as excited to sell as all the other things, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. So that's what that proves. My demographic is someone who has the money and is serious about getting in shape. Guys, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot more than you give credit for. Don't think you're targeting the small percent. You're targeting the vast majority of people. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? So far, am I making points here that you guys can follow? Have I changed anyone's perception about some of this stuff already? So let's keep going. Dylan says the stats are crazy. Yes, they are, but they're true. Okay, sell wants over needs. People spend more on what they want over what they need. Here's some more stats for you. Here's stuff that people need and they don't spend money on. 55% of people put off needed dental and orthodontic work here in the country, US. 55%. They put it off. They say, I know I need it. The dentist says I need it, but I'm not going to do it. This is why when people say to me, Mike, prescription selling really works. Like doctors, they tell you what to do and then you do it, right? No, I hate prescription selling because actually that's not as true as you think. 43% put off delayed eye care. 30+% put off annual exams. So when you say, oh, prescription selling is fantastic because when a doctor tells you need something, you just do it, right? No, you don't. No, the stats are here. You don't. But people will wait in line for an iPhone that they can't afford, which is the #1 reason they don't do these things, because they can't afford it, and an iPhone costs more than probably any of these things. They'll stand in line. They'll pre-order an iPhone. Here are things that people want, right? Proves that they buy what they want. $5,300 in credit card debt, 80+% on non-essentials, and they spend 35 hours of their time watching TV instead of working out, right? Because that's what they want. They want that more than your workout. Steve Jobs knew this. So because of that, Apple sells the most expensive, ready? Everything. The most expensive phone, tablet, stylus, laptop, desktop, smartwatch, accessories, you name it. If they sell it, it's at the top of expensive for that particular category, okay? But here's the cool thing. The average fitness studio owner I work with says, Mike, I want people in their mid-30s or older because they have money. People that are younger just don't have the money. Again, another limiting belief. It's not about having the money, it's about spending the money. Now watch this, ready? Apple has a $2 trillion net worth, $2 trillion. Huge company, one of the biggest in its category. Their demographic is 18 to 35-year-olds. That is their main target. 18 to 35-year-olds. So they sell the most expensive everything to the same people that people in this industry think don't have the money. And they spend it. And they're a $2 trillion company. Is that a mic drop? Did we just drop a bomb? We just dropped the bomb. Okay. So now, does this mean you guys shouldn't go after people older than 35? No, you should. Because there's a lot of good reasons for that. Longevity, they don't test new things as much. So I get that. But the point is, don't think for 1 second that they don't buy because of whatever you just made up, because Apple just proved that whole thing wrong. They're buying laptops, they're buying iPads, smartwatches, they're upgrading every year, and they're standing in line. This demographic stands in line the most when the new thing comes out. So they're upgrading and spending more money on those things that they couldn't afford, right? Steve Jobs knew that he just had to learn to sell. If he learned how to sell, well, then it didn't matter who he was talking to, he was going to be able to sell. Because everyone can find the money if it's something that they truly want. Salespeople are great talkers. Here's another point. This is not true. Salespeople are incredible, active listeners. When people are talking, if it's the salesperson that's doing the majority of it, they're getting all the information, and unfortunately, because you may not know what they care about, you may be actually hurting your likelihood of sale because you're telling them stuff that doesn't matter. I just actually had this with a salesperson on my team. I caught him selling stuff that they thought was valuable, but they have no idea if this person thinks it's valuable. I know because I said, hey, you were pushing that particular part of the program pretty hard. Did they ask you about that? He said no. So how do you know they even care about it? I didn't know. And he knew right away what he did wrong, so we talk about this stuff. But you get caught up. We need to ask questions, we need to listen, because everything they say does two things. Number one, it gets that perceived notion for them that I must be interested because look how many questions I'm asking. It's just a natural psychological thing that's happening. I must be interested. And number two, it gives you what's called intelligence. You're learning about this particular prospect's wants and needs and what you called problems so that you can solve them. But too many people are solving what they believe are the general problems to every prospect when yes, there may be a general problem, but there's a specific unique challenge within that problem that allows them to get excited if you hit that hot button, okay? So incredible listeners. You need to be talking maybe 20% of the time, and if you ever do answer a question, you immediately answer in the form of a question. Here's how it works. If a person interrupts you to say something like, are you guys open on Saturdays and Sundays as well? Don't just say, yes, we are open Saturdays and Sundays, and we have childcare on Saturdays as well. Don't just say that. Say, yes, we are actually open on Saturdays and Sundays, and we have childcare on Saturdays as well. Why? Are those days that you see yourself coming in more? That's how you do it. Yeah, it is. Because here's what happens. When you don't do that, when you don't ask questions and you answer questions, think of the laws of normal human conversation. If I'm talking to Jackson, and Jackson asked me a question about my job, if he said, hey, so do you like working there? Yeah, it's awesome, man. I love it. Normal rules of conversation, he's going to probably ask another question. Yeah, well, why is that? Or really, what do you like about it? Something like that. But if I was to hit the ball back, do you like your job? Yeah, I love the job. Why do you ask? I'm thinking about looking for another job myself. I was wondering what's out there. Got it. That's where we're at, right? And now we're in control. He who leads the call and asks the questions makes the sale. And either you're making the sale or the prospect is, right? You're selling him on a reason why you should join. He's selling you on a reason why you shouldn't. You've heard that before, and it's absolutely true. Hard versus too hard. This is a general point for success in anything, but sales especially, okay? When my kid tells me, Dad, I can't do it, it's too hard. The first thing I ask is it too hard or is it hard? Because they know what that means. Too hard means it can't be done. That's what too hard means. Hard means it sucks and I don't want to do it and I'm not good at it and I don't know how to overcome it right now. But too hard means no one has overcome it, right? Human flying with no contraptions, right? Like just get up in the air and fly. That seems to be too hard. I don't know anyone that's done that, right? So that's too hard. But being able to build an airplane, that's not too hard. It's just I don't know how to do it. It's hard. I don't know how to do it. So with that mindset, think about this. There's hundreds, but you only need one. What do we mean by that? There are hundreds of fitness studios that I personally know of. There's probably thousands, but there's hundreds of fitness studios that I know of that are generating 7 figures in a 1,200 to 2,400 square foot space every single year. Every single year. I know some that are doing multiple, meaning they're doing $2 million or more. But if they're doing it, that means it's not too hard. It's hard for sure, but they figured it out. We should know what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they're doing it, when they're doing it. If we know these things, well then the too hard comes off and it's just hard. And it's okay if it's hard. We want it to be hard because if it was easy, everyone would do it and there'd be no point in doing it. The harder it is, the harder for your competitors to do it as well. And it allows you to stand up. If you can figure out that thing that's hard before your competitors do, you win. That's the way it works. Next point I want you all to remember is there's tigers, horses, and dogs in your business, okay? I want you to remember this phrase: shoot the dogs, whip the horses, feed the tigers. And that sounds terrible. If PETA's listening, they're going, what the hell, did you just tell the whole world to shoot dogs and whip horses? Okay, it's metaphorical, let me explain. When you're salespeople, you have to ask yourself, and maybe yourself as well, are they dogs, horses, or tigers? See, a dog, it won't survive unless you feed it. What happens if you don't feed a dog? Is it gonna just go out and go get its own food? No, it's not. What a dog's gonna do, if you don't feed the dog, a dog is going to just beg and whine and cry and bark until you feed them. Salespeople that are dogs, if they don't get handed leads that are ready to buy, which is why people say, I want people that have money and are serious about working out. Basically what you're saying is, I want the marketing to be so good that I don't have to improve at sales and I'll still win. It's pretty much what I'm hearing, right, when I hear that. So I need to feed dogs leads that are ready to buy without them having to be good at sales in order for them to survive. Otherwise, they're going to die. Okay, that's what a dog is in sales. A horse, see, the thing about a horse is horses work, and they work good, and they move fast, and they push hard, and they're strong, and they've got skills. But the thing about a horse is, if you don't whip it, it'll just graze all day. If you don't push it, if you don't give it commands to do stuff, if you don't give it a goal, it's going to graze. It's pretty much what it'll do. And there's a lot of people that are horses. In fact, horses aren't bad. If you got a good sales management, you actually are okay with a room full of horses. Horses are, man, these people can work, they can push, but you got to push them. Every morning, you got to do a huddle. At lunch, you got to check in with them. Where are you guys at? End of day, hey guys, how did sales go for the day? Let's talk about our wins or losses. What did we do? What could we have done better? We got to check, hey, how many calls you had today? How many leads did you book today? How many demos did you book today? How many trials did we get in, right? We've got to push them. We've got to set goals for them. If we do that, horses are good. But if you're not going to have a person managing that person and just step off and let them just do it on their own, what you'll tend to notice is these salespeople will just graze. That's pretty much it. Okay, what about the tigers? Tigers are rare. They're diamonds. Well, actually, diamonds aren't rare, so that's a bad example. But tigers are hard to find. They're very, very hard. If you do find them, you frickin' hang on to that guy. You give him whatever he wants, okay, or she. So you see a tiger can make a kill, and it could be enough to where they're full for like the next couple weeks. The meal that they just ate was good. They're full. They got a full belly, and they'll still bat the bunny down. If that bunny comes by, it locks in, it zones in, and it crawls, and it does what its instincts tell it to do. It can't help it. Salespeople that are tigers can hit goal on the 10th of the month, but they can't help but come in the next day on fire. They can't help but call more people, follow up with more people, sell more people, get more referrals, get more reviews. They can't help it. It's like an instinct. They want, if anything, they hit goal on the 10th of the month, they're thinking, holy shit, I'm going to triple my goal this month. That's what they're thinking. That's a tiger. You don't have to tell a tiger to work. The tiger, if anything, is telling you to get out of its way. And with that person, you feed the tiger, meaning you get a good lead come in, don't give it to the dog or the horse just because you think they can close it. You give it to the tiger. A lead comes in, you feed your tiger, because that tiger isn't just going to make a sale. They're going to get the best sale. They're going to get referrals. They're going to sell ancillary products. They're going to get a review. They're going to get so much more. They're going to squeeze so much more juice out of that lemon than the other guys. So feed your tigers. Does that make sense to everybody so far? I want you guys to use the comment box below and let me know on your sales team, do you feel like you have more dogs, more horses? And if you have a tiger, let me know you got a tiger. Just understand what that is, right? It's very hard to find a tiger, okay? All right. Speak with certainty. Avoid using weak words. You've probably noticed throughout this entire presentation and throughout the rest of this presentation and any of my videos, I do not speak with gray. It's black or white. There's no words like probably, maybe, should be, could be, and especially the word that is illegal in my house and in the office. Who knows what that word is? Use the comment box and let me know if you know what that word is. It hurts me to know you're going to type it in. It hurts me because I don't even want it on my content, but we're going to say it. The word is try. In fact, if you went to my house right now and you use the word try in front of my daughter who's 5, she'll look at you as if you just said the F word. Because she doesn't know that outside of this house, everyone else uses it and it's okay. She thinks it's a bad word everywhere. But here's why. Try and words that create lack of certainty not only hurt you and your ability to get things done, but it hurts your certainty and your prospects. The real reason, the number one reason that people actually don't buy from you is because they're not certain about something. They're not certain in the product, they're not certain in the person selling it, they're not certain in the company, or they're not certain in themselves, their ability to do it. And so I want you to imagine something. Let me show you how this affects you. Imagine you're the coach of a basketball team and you've worked all season long to make it here, the championship game, and you've done it. You're here in the championship game and the other team just scored with 1 second left. You call timeout like a good coach does because now you just looked at the scoreboard and you're down by 1. They're winning by 1 point left. There's 1 second left on the clock. You got 1 play in you. You got no time for anything else. You get to your timeout, you go to your team, and you look at your 2 best players, Mike and Jerry. I want you guys to remember these names here, okay, because I'm going to ask you to contribute here. You got Mike and Jerry, 2 best players. In fact, they've been so good all year long that you can't, on paper, tell them apart. They've been just as good, scored just as many points with the same amount of percentage, and they've been just as clutch. They are identical, just 2 different people. And you go, Mike, Jerry, what do you guys think we should do? You lean on your stars. And Mike says, let's go to Jerry. Jerry says to you, Coach, give me the ball. I'm going to try to make this shot. Okay? You go, Mike. Mike goes, Coach, give me the ball. I will make this shot. Okay, these are the 2. I want you to tell me which one you'd pick. You're the coach. You got 1 play in you. They're equal. But Jerry says, Mike, or Coach, give me the ball. I'm going to try to make this shot. And Mike says, Coach, give me the ball. I will make this shot. Who are you giving the ball to? Who are you drafting that play for? I want to know. Jerry, I'll try to make the shot. Mike, I will make the shot. Use the comment box and let me know who you'd pick. Jerry, Mike. Jerry's going to try to make it. Mike says he will make it. Now, at the end of the day, there's really no difference. At the end of the day, Mike and Jerry are both going to try to make the shot. The difference is with Mike's certainty that he's going to make it. See, Jerry's just certain that he's going to try. Mike's certain that he's going to make it. And that certainty in Mike injects certainty in you. Now, I've shopped hundreds and hundreds of studios and gyms over the last 4 or 5 years. It's harder now because I notice when I go in, occasionally the studio owner knows me by face because of the videos that they've watched, but it was a lot easier in my first few years. But when I go in there, I can't tell you how many people use the T word. In fact, what you'll notice in your business, if you listen for it today, guys, listen for it. People use the word try all day. In fact, when new employees come in at Loud Room and we tell them don't use the word try, they say, okay, easy, I never use that word. And then what happens, McKenna? What happens, Jackson? Every time, like in the first conversation, they say it, right? You don't even realize it's happening. But here's how it works. Studio owner goes and pitches me when I go in and do a test, see how they do it. Yeah, so Mike, so here at, ABC Fitness, we try to really have different workouts every single day. It's an example. Or, we try to create workout plans that really fit your needs, right? With your injuries, all that stuff. Yeah, we really try to create nutritional programs that work for you because you enjoy eating those. We want you to try to stick to it as much as you can. That's what it sounds like. Now, here's the thing. The untrained mind consciously has no idea they're saying the word try. But unconsciously, just like the coach goes, it's not certain. You don't even know it's happening. But then they go to my studio next door. They tested yours. Now they go to mine. And I say the same stuff, but with will. Jane, so based on everything, let me explain to you what we do here. Here at ABC Fitness, we will mix up the workouts regularly to make sure that you have fun and actually enjoy your workout every single day. Also, we will absolutely create workouts and programs designed to work around the injuries that you have so you can keep growing and not hurting your knee. And lastly, we will also create perfect programs nutritionally for you using the foods that you know you'll be able to eat every single day if you need to, and you don't have any allergies or anything like that to, and you'll be able to stick to. For the first time, you'll be able to stick to it, right? These are the things we will do, and if we notice that you're off track by any chance, we will make those adjustments and get you right back on track. Fair enough? Yes. This person, even though I said the same thing as Jerry's studio, this prospect is going to go, oh yeah, no, they're night and day better. They're night and day better. Why? What is it? I don't know. You just feel it. Subconsciously, people know certain things. I know when you're lying. Why? Well, because we picked up. Subconsciously, we can pick up on cues. I know when you're flirting with me. I know when you like me. I know when you hate me. I know when you don't think I'm funny. I know when you don't trust me, right? I know these things. Why? Because we've picked up these subconscious cues along the way, and consciously we can't articulate. Why don't you like that person? I don't know. I just don't. Why do you think they don't like you? I don't know. I can just tell. Now, you do know subconsciously because over time you've picked up on things, but you can't articulate it because you haven't studied the conscious level of why it's happening. And your prospects don't think that for 1 second they can't consciously tell if this program doesn't fully get them confident and certain it's going to get them there. They can tell. They just can't articulate why. And so what they'll do is they'll give you a smoke screen. Can't afford it, don't have the time, whatever it is, right? Something that they know it's going to be hard for you to overcome. Okay, that's what's happening. Now, when they meet somebody that gives them certainty, I'm certain what I'm going to get with an iPhone. I'm certain the way I'm going to feel when I get a new car, right? All these things that we can't afford. I'm certain about this vacation is what I want, right? You'll spend the money, you'll do it with excitement, and you'll spend more on it. Here's the truth. Think about this. The same people that can't afford to work out with you, what happens? I don't remember the stats why I didn't put it up, but to give you an idea what the general number was, the average person that joins a gym or a fitness studio, joins a new program, spends over $100. I don't remember what the exact number, but it's over $100 that same week on things to support that new movement. They'll get new sneakers, they'll get new workout gear, they'll go on Amazon, get new supplements, they'll get like new socks, they'll get all this new stuff because they're excited now. They couldn't afford it, they were thinking about it, you sold them, now they're spending more money on other stuff. How is that possible? It's possible because they had the money. Now that they're excited and they're certain about the excitement, they can spend more money because they want to. This is why you should be selling ancillary sales at the point of sale as well, because it's the best time to get someone to buy more stuff, okay? Next thing here, beware old pro. Talk about this to a lot of seasoned salespeople. Your past successes can create a mindset that is incredible at building glass ceilings. One of the worst things I hear, I get very, very nervous about the person I'm working with when they say phrases like this. Oh yeah, I've been doing this for 25 years. I get this part of it. Oh shit. This is gonna be a tough one. Because to him, he's already figured it out. So because he's already figured out, there's nothing he can learn. He just needs things around him to be better now. I need better employees. I need better leads. I need the market to be less saturated. The economy needs to improve. This pandemic needs to go away. It can't be me. I got 25 years in. Dude, there's a difference between 25 years of experience and 1 year of experience 25 times, right? We want to make sure that you have no excuses. And the best way to do that is to know exactly how to overcome any challenge that goes on in your business. Right? So beware old pro. You always need to keep learning, and you need to keep surrounding yourself around people that don't have these same excuses. Because a lot of times people will surround themselves around people that share the same excuses to justify their reason for being a failure. Drop a bomb on that too. It's true. Okay, lastly here, use scripts. Your bank account will thank you. You've heard me talk about this before. Let me introduce you to Brandon Kreis. He's one of the top sales reps at this franchise called Soldier Fit, emerging franchise, 20 plus locations. He does well. He trains. But he went on a 2-week cold streak. He actually called his account manager to tell her that he thinks it's tough right now because of the pandemic. This was back in I think August. Was it August? Somewhere around there. So we were in the thick of it. And he said, yeah, it's really tough right now. I think with the pandemic, I can't get anyone to book an appointment, and those that I do get to book, I can't get to show, and those that do show, I can't get to buy. Everyone's price conscious, the first thing out of their mouth right now, so on and so forth. So I said, get him on the phone with me, because he's a member of ours. He's actually a big member because Soldier Fit works with us in a few different ways. So I do a Zoom call. This is actually a screenshot from the Zoom call. And I asked him, okay, here's what I want you to do. Give me a role play. I'm going to call you, and I want you to get me booked for an appointment. Honestly, within a minute, I knew exactly what the problem was. He wasn't using a script. I knew that because he said something. I said, hold on, can you say that part again? So he goes and says that same part that he just said, and he said it differently. Generally the same, but significantly different in my mind as far as scripts go. And I go, wait, why did you say that this time but you didn't say that the last time. He's like, oh yeah, sometimes I do it a little different. I go, so you're not using the script? He's like, I am, but I kind of go off of it sometimes. Well, that's why you're inconsistent. Imagine as a football player, sometimes Tom Brady threw the ball like this, and other times he threw it like this, and sometimes he threw it like this, and other times he threw it like this. And every time he just said, you know what, we're just going to mix up form every time. How good is he going to be? As opposed to if he said, I'm going to get my form down so that it's automatic. It's muscle memory. This is the way I throw a ball. So even if if I have a tenth of a second to think, not only can I get it off, but I can get it off with the form that my body only knows how to throw the ball in. How much better of a quarterback would he be? Same thing with anything. He's going off script, meaning he's not getting better at the new script, and he's getting better at the scripts that are ineffective. That's why he wasn't doing it. So I gave him a new script. I told him, here's what I want you to do. Brandon went on a 100% close rate over the next 30 days. 45 new members sold out of 45 opportunities to sell them in 30 days. And so for you guys, if you want this exact script, because it's going to be a lot, go to, when I say a lot, it's not a big script, but I mean, we got other stuff to talk about. So what I want you to do is go to loudrumor.com/Brandon-play. Loudrumor.com/Brandon-play. What you'll get there, you'll not only get the script, but you'll also get the video. It's a compilation. The first video I did with him where I recognized what the problem was. You can see what conversation was like. There's the follow-up video a week later when he was 11 for 11 and showed me how much more excited he was because it was working. And then you'll see there's a GSD episode as well where that was a month later and he went 45 for 45. He called me once he finally got his first no and he couldn't overcome it. So if you want that exact script and you want to see how that conversation went step by step, go there. This is why I told you get a pen and paper. Write this down. Loudrumor.com/Brandon-play. Okay, let's move on now. That was number one. I told you guys I spend more time there than anywhere else, and now we're going to go through a lot quicker. So number two, know your numbers. You've heard people talk about this all the time, whether you watch Shark Tank, The Profit, whatever it is, any business book you ever read, you know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's a very famous quote by Warren Buffett. And I know your money, you should too. And what I mean by that is, if I go into your business, I can look at certain things and I know exactly where other parts are. I can look at your revenue and I can look at your costs and I can tell from there where you're spending too much money in, where you need to be spending more money in, why your business is winning or losing just by looking at those 2 points. And you need to be able to identify those as well, because if you can't, then you're just guessing. Imagine as a coach of a basketball team or a football team or anything, if as a coach, you couldn't look at anything but the score. You couldn't watch the game. You couldn't look at the stats or the box score. You could only look at the score. And based on that, you had to make decisions. How effective would you be? But what if you could look at the game? What if you could look at the box score and you knew, okay, whenever we put this person on this person, we start losing points. Whenever we have this person shoot from that spot, he makes it more often than he does from that spot. What if you knew that data? How many more good decisions could you make? A lot more. How many more games would you win? If you never watched the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, watch that game, because that is a perfect, clear example of knowing your numbers to the T will allow you to be successful even with less resources, okay? Amateurs focus on CPL, which is cost per lead. Professionals focus on CPA, which is cost per acquisition. Here's what I mean. If you ever watch the show Shark Tank, you ever watch Profit, or you ever read any business books, anything, they never ever say, hey, what's your cost to acquire a lead? Marcus Lemonis never said, what do you pay per lead? What does it cost for you to get a lead? Shark Tank, Damon John, Mark Cuban, none of these guys, they've never said, and what's your cost per lead? Ever. Why is that? Is it because it's not important? It's not that it's not important. It's just, it's one of 7 KPIs to the thing that is important. What they do ask almost every single time, if not every time, is what does it cost for you to get a customer? How much are you paying to acquire a customer? That's what they care about. Professionals ask that question. See, there are so many levels to the cost of acquiring a customer. Cost per lead is just one. Now, why do amateurs tend to focus on it so much? Well, because it's the one that they don't have control over, so they can delegate someone else to change it, right? You got to get my lead cost down. I'm going to show you why that's not exactly the answer. So let's pretend you got a $2,000 ad budget. Okay, stay with me here, because we're going to go numbers now. Now, if you love numbers like I love numbers, this is going to be sexy to you. If you hate numbers, I'm sorry. Okay, so let me know in the comments really quick. Do you think numbers are sexy, or do you think they're disgusting? Let me know what you think. I don't think there's anybody in the middle. Okay, so $2,000 ad budget. Imagine that was your ad budget, okay? And let's say you were paying $20 per lead. If you were paying $20 per lead, which is about $5 more than the average cost per lead we get here for clients at Loud Rumor, that means you would have got 100 leads with the $2,000 ad budget, right? 2,000 divided by 20 is 100. So you would have got 100 leads. Now let's say, these are all averages by the way, these aren't numbers that the best of the best get, these are average numbers. Let's say you were, like the average, making contact with only 50% of those 100 leads. That means you would have reached 50 people, meaning you paid $40 per conversation. That's $2,000 ad budget, divide that by 50 people that you reach, that equals $40. So you paid $40 to have a conversation with an opportunity. If you booked 60% of those people, that means 60% of 50 is 30 people. You paid $66 and change per book. That's what you paid per booked appointment. Now, if out of those, 75% of those 30 showed up, you paid $87 per show because 75% is 30 is 23. 2,000 divided by 23 is 87, okay? If 33% of those 23 closed, right? You only closed 1 out of every 3. That means you got 8 new members. And when you divide 2,000 divided by 8, that means you spend $250 to acquire a customer. Now, if you get $160 average per sale, that means that 8 times 160, you in that first month made $1,280. Obviously, you're going to make that next month as well, and you're going to get more. So that's the idea, compounds. But you made $1,280 just in that month. Now, over the course of 6 months, if that's your average retention, which is average, okay, that means that $1,280 multiplied by 6, that value is $7,680 average revenue is what you gained in that month off that $2,000 investment. It's not bad, it's not good. I think it's average, right? And if you're like me, you don't care about average. You care what are the best doing. I don't want to know what the average are doing. I want to know what the best are doing. I don't want to be compared to average. So, but here's what the average person does. The average person says, we need to get the lead cost down. Meaning if we got the lead cost down by 25%, they'd be happy, right? $20, $15, they'd be happy. What if we did that? What if cost per lead went down by 25%, but everything else stayed the same? Well, let's look at the impact that it actually makes, okay? That means this is what you had, right? You would have closed 8 people. If you look at the math, right? Now you would have closed 10. Because you paid $15 per lead, that means you got 133 leads. All the other things stay the same. Your 33% close rate would have given you 10 sales now. Your cost per acquisition would have only cost you $200. Not bad. At the end of it all that, you really only made an extra $320. When you do the math on that month. Over the course of 6 months, you made an extra almost $2,000. Again, not bad, not good. You improved by 25%. How is it not really good? Because you didn't improve the whole thing by 25%. You improved 1/7 of the problem by 25%. 1/7 of it. You didn't improve 7/7 of it. You improved 1/7 of it by 25%. That's almost nothing. That's why it's so small. But what if the contact rate increased by 25%? So go back, look at this. By decreasing the cost per lead only, everything else stayed the same, you made an extra $320. But if, let's say, the cost per lead stayed the same, and everything else stayed the same, but you just got a hold of more of these people by 25%, you actually made $160 more. That's not $160 more than before. That's $160 more than your plan to lower the cost per lead by 25%. So by you increasing your contact rate by 25%, you actually make more money than if we drop our cost per lead by 25%. That's what's more valuable, number one. But what if the book rate increased by 25% and nothing else did? Cost per lead stayed the same, contact rate stayed the same, just one metric. We got more people booked, 25% more. Same thing. You made $160 more by increasing the book rate and nothing else by 25% than you would have if you decreased the cost per lead by 25% and nothing else. So those 2 things are more powerful, and we got 5 other ones, okay? What if all sales efforts increased by 12.5%? That's half, 12.5%, but the cost per lead stayed the same. Ready? Watch this. You still got 100 leads at $20 a lead, but you got 17 new members, 3,000 revenue brought in, meaning you already paid for your ad budget and got a 50% ROI on the first month. Keep in mind that 3,000, at least a good portion of it should be there next month as well if you're any good at keeping people, and it keeps compounding. Over the course of 7 months, you got 13,000 more than you would have gotten if you just lowered the cost per lead by 25%. You made $21,400 versus whatever it was, $7,000, right? That's the difference. Now, it doesn't mean we don't want to drop the cost per lead. Obviously, that needs to happen. My point is that's only one of 7 levels. If you can work on the other 6, that's really where the impact is made. Because dropping something by even 50%, if it's only 1/7 of the problem, it's not as good as fixing 6/7 of the problem or 7/7 of the problem by even 5 or 10%. You guys follow me on that? Yeah? 7 levels, or 7 basic levels to raise ROI in the beginning stages of acquiring a member, okay? I want you to focus on improving all 7. So know your numbers, because when you know your numbers, you go, okay, how can we get more of these people to show next time? How can we were at 67% show, how can we get to 69 or 70% show? We were at a 33% close, how can we get to 38 or 40% close, right? These are the things you look to improve, and little by little, you take little baby steps forward, but those little steps make big, big moves, okay? Okay, number 3, the referral game. The idea is to turn one into many. That's a common phrase here, turn one into many. What if I told you that our best studios get 5 referrals at the point of sale with each sale that they make? Now let's look at those numbers, right? Because we love numbers. So before we dive in, I want you to answer this question. Would you rather get 100 leads from Facebook ads, or would you rather get 100 leads from referring members? Go ahead and use the comment box. Would you rather get 100 leads from Facebook ads, or would you rather get 100 leads from referring members? Go ahead, 15 seconds. I'm gonna get a drink of water in the meantime. All right, what do we get up there? 100 leads from Facebook ads, or would you rather get 100 leads from referring members? McKenna, what do we get? We get a lot of those? So I'm assuming if you're normal, if you've done business at all, it's referring members. Okay, so let's focus on that. That's what we want to get. So imagine you did get those 17 members, right? Because you improved everything by 12.5%. So imagine that $2,000 you spent got you 17 members. So that means 17 members, if you got 5 referrals from each sale that you made, 17 times 5 is 85 leads. So that means you got 85 leads for $0, okay? $0 per lead. Those 17 members, if you know this strategy, it got you 5 times 17, 5 referrals times 7, you got 85 new leads. But is 85 referrals from members equal to 85 Facebook ad leads? No, because look at the screen, referrals, 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 members, members, members. So it's way better. That's probably like, I don't know, whatever your conversion rate on digital leads versus referrals, but I'm guessing 5, 6 times better. So that's like 400 leads, right, in Facebook ads. But let's just call it what it is, 85 leads. Now, we're gonna be conservative here. Most of you guys have better numbers than this, but let's say you only made contact with 85% of the members that were referred to you. That means you reached 68 people. You pay 0 per conversation. Let's say 80% of those people booked, which that'd be crazy, right, because they're referrals, but let's say that's the case. You've booked 54 at $0 per booked appointment. If 80% of those people showed up, you got 43 new people in your studio to do a workout at $0 per show. If 50% of those people close, again, these are conservative. They should be conservative. Are these conservative to you for referrals? Let me know. Yes, conservative. No, those are my numbers. Or I wish I closed referrals that well. Let me know in the comments. But this is probably conservative if you're any good at sales, right? So that means you got 22 sales, and it costs you $0 to acquire those customers. And if you sold $160 average per sale, that means you made an extra $3,500 just that month for free. You didn't pay for it. So that's a lot more valuable than if you paid for it. And if you hang on to them for 6 months, which honestly, if you look at your math, people that were referred to your business have a longer runway. They stay with you longer. So, but you'd have made $21,000 over the course of 6 months for free. Now, combine the best of the best. You got 17 new members in the example that we gave before that you paid $2,000 for, plus you got 22 new members from the referrals that you got from those 17. So you spend $2,000 to get 39 new members. That's the outcome. $2,000 is the investment. 39 members is the outcome. $51 is what you paid, right? That was the average to get a member. That was worth $960. That's what it's worth, plus the referrals. Because remember, those 22 people that you signed up, what should you also be getting from them? That's another 100 some referrals. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So you spend $2,000. You got a $37,000 return when you combine the 17 and 22. plus referrals, which is invaluable, that's an 18.7 times or 1,870% ROI. McKenna, if you just bought a house, right? If you bought a house and in a year or two, it went up 25% in value, would you be happy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'd be happy. 25% return on investment, you'd be happy. What if it was 1,870% return on investment? What if you bought a house for 200 grand and it was worth 3.7 million in a year?
That'd be crazy.
It wouldn't, yeah, it's crazy, but in this world, it's not. To me, it's crazy that it's not happening. That's what's crazy, okay? So I have 8 referral strategies that work every single time, okay? Again, for the sake of time, because that's gonna be other stuff, if you want these trainings, so you're gonna get this exact script on how to get 5 referrals at the point of every sale, 5 at the point of every sale, sometimes more. We've got people that said they had over 20, but you're also gonna get 7 other strategies. Go to loudrumor.com/referral-script. Again, this is why I told you to bring your pen and paper. Go to loudrumor.com/referral-script. We'll give you the exact script and we'll give you 7 other strategies that are foolproof in generating more referrals. So on top of the 5 that you get on sale, there's more that you can get. Pretty cool? Okay, that's your gift. Next, advertising. This isn't an option, okay? Grant Cardone says if you think advertising is expensive, you should see what obscurity costs you. If you don't know what obscurity is, that means people don't know who the heck you are. And if you're not advertising, you're not putting yourself out there, that's exactly what you get. Henry Ford said, stopping advertising to save money is like stopping your watch to save time. It's interesting how people act in recessions and how they act in booming economies. In booming economies, people spend more money and they save almost nothing. And in recessions, everyone goes into full save mode. I gotta save, I gotta save. Don't spend, I gotta save. Whereas wealthy people and people that know what they're doing, during booming economies, they spend, but they'll invest when it's smart, but they know it's not the best time to invest. This is where we hold, we build up our cash, right? We save, we're ready, we're getting prepared. And when the recession comes, not only do we not worry, but on top of not worrying, we invest and we get everything at a discount. So during this recession, now let me say this first. The first recession, 2008, I had that mentality. I saved. It was the hardest time of my life. I didn't sleep many, many nights. It was the hardest, longest recession I've ever dealt with. It was very hard on my family. It was very hard on me. My wife and I, we almost broke it off a couple times because it was just so hard. It was so hard, okay? This recession, I was so ready for it. Right? Obviously, we don't want a recession happening because so many people get hurt during a recession. But during this recession, I invested in 2 apartment complexes, about to invest in a 3rd. I got into a hard money lending deal, and I got into the market. I invested more during this time. On top of that, my marketing budget went up by 5 times the amount. I spent 5 times more. I had less money coming in, a lot less, which is why I knew, holy shit, at what point is it going to stop? I need to keep refilling this bucket. Otherwise, it's over. Spend 5 times more. Anybody that wants to, you ever want to come into Loud Rumor, anytime you want to come into Loud Rumor, let me know ahead of time, and I'll show you. I'll take you through the back end of our Facebook ad campaign. I'll show you how in the booming economy, we spent about 5 times less than we did once we got into like April, May, June, July, August. We spend 5 times more per month. Anybody wants to see it, I'll call you, I'll show you. I'll be fully transparent. Look at how much more we spent and look at how much less money we had. Our revenue dropped by 2/3. We only had 1/3 of what we had in April compared to February. 1/3 of it. And we spent 5 times more. Why? Because we saved up, we made right moves, and we knew that during this time, we needed to spend, not save. Saving is in a booming economy. Spending and investing is in that recession time. Guys with me? Yes? Okay. Never in human history has it been easier and more affordable to get in front of the right prospects than it is today. Never, right? In pre-internet era, companies invested most of their marketing dollars into avenues that had hardly any metrics or data to go off of, billboards, TV, or whatever, and waited many months for a return on investment. And they couldn't even know if they can attribute it to all those things. Today, not like that. Today, you can invest $100 online at breakfast and have leads in your inbox by lunch. If you go back in time and tell some of the best advertisers that, in 1960, 1970, 1980, even 1990, and you tell them, yeah, I have that opportunity and I'm not spending as much as I can in it, they'll want to strangle you. Like, why? Why are you not spending here? Are you crazy? You would die in my era. You would die in my era. I would destroy in your era. That's what they would say, right? And so think about the opportunity you have and wonder, am I making entitled decisions and taking stuff for granted when I'm not spending money in areas where I can spend money by breakfast and have leads by lunch? Am I crazy? How much should I be spending here? The question is, how much can you handle with leads coming in? Okay, there's 3 types of traffic. These are things you want to know. 3 types of traffic. Advertisers know this. There's traffic that you purchase. Paid ads, right? So we do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, that kind of stuff. There's traffic that you earn, like podcasts, PR, getting on TV, that kind of stuff, right? Getting featured in certain things, partnering with other people. That's traffic that you earn. You didn't pay for it, but you got traffic to your site, to your emails list, whatever it is. And there's traffic that you own, which is a combination of the purchase and earned. You really want to focus on traffic that you own, meaning, yes, I want to spend money to build my list, and I want to do things like getting on local TV, like organic stuff, all that, in order to get people on my list, and then that list is so valuable. When PayPal, was it PayPal or eBay? I think it was eBay actually. eBay bought Skype. They didn't buy, it's not like they couldn't create a Skype. They had the money to create a Skype. They wanted the list. That's what they invested in, okay? Your list is the most valuable asset in your business if you're using it. But someone who has a list and doesn't use it has no advantage over someone that doesn't have a list. So if you have an email list with people that have opted in and you're not using it effectively, then you might as well not have a list. A lot of people are afraid, oh, I don't want people to opt out. Dude, why? Let them opt out. It's not valuable to you. It's like somebody that's hanging out in your restaurant. They're not going to eat anyway. If anything, get out of here. Like you're taking up a table, right? So 3 lists that you need to always be building. Number 1 is your retargeting list, okay? These are the people that showed some interest already, and you want to keep staying in front of them. Here's the way retargeting, you understand how it works, right? Like somebody sees something of yours, and now you keep showing them more stuff. Let me put it in real world, like, ideology here so you can see it. I want you to imagine you own a restaurant. It's an Italian restaurant. You got incredible Italian food. And you have a sign that you hold up, and you got 2 crowds of people, a crowd on the left, and you got a crowd on the right, okay? We'll call it crowd A and crowd B, because I'm gonna ask you a question, so get ready to engage here. Crowd A and crowd B, okay? And you hold up this sign and you say, special on lasagna, okay? And you show it to this crowd, and this crowd does this. Crowd A goes, that's pretty much what they do. So you show crowd B, and crowd B goes like this. Hey, check that out. Right? They talk to each other. They come up to you. Hey, what's the special? What is it? What kind of deal are you running? Oh, that's really cool. Check this out. We should do this. Hey, go tell John. Go tell John that they're having a special. Call him. Text him. Maybe he wants to come. Okay? Now, if that was the case, and these 2 crowds of people constantly hung out every day in front of your business, you're an Italian restaurant owner, let me know, crowd A or crowd B, would you rather show a sign up for the next special, we'll call it penne, would you rather show it to crowd A, or would you rather show it to crowd B? Who would you rather show? Crowd A or crowd B? Are we doing the Jeopardy song? Okay. So chances are you wanted to show crowd B, and it makes sense, right? They already showed some interest. When they said, hey, look at that, that was a comment, a tagged comment. I'm tagging him in it. I want him to see it specifically. When he said, hey, go tell Joe that they're having the special, that's a share. When he came up to you and he said, hey, what's the special? That's a click, right? These are real, like, what happens online is what happens offline. It's the same. Your reaction should be the same as well. Delphin, you're craving lasagna. That's awesome. I am too. It's actually my favorite food. It's why I started with it. Literally, if you ever want to know what my favorite food is, lasagna. Okay. So, but the same thing goes. If you have people, you show up specials for a free week or a free whatever, and you got people that have clicked on it to learn more, we want to keep showing that person something. Because maybe today they weren't going to get lasagna because they were full. But maybe tomorrow they're not full and they're really craving it. Maybe they're not getting lasagna because they just ate lasagna. Okay, but now maybe tomorrow they didn't just eat lasagna. Well, the same thing goes for fitness. Remember, the average woman starts or restarts a diet 9 times per year. So maybe right now they're not in that mode, but maybe tomorrow they are. And you want to stay in front of these people. Retargeting list is a very important list, and it's something a lot of people don't value. But if you're a politician right now, this is your number one weapon, is retargeting. And if it can make you the president, it can help you get a few members, right? Email lists, that's the next one. We talked about that because actually I'll show you here in a second why email lists is important. And then your phone list, so call, text, right? The ability to follow up with people via phone. So one of my good friends, Russell Brunson, who's the founder of ClickFunnels, he said, what if Facebook or Google snap their fingers and shut down their ad platforms, and your email and phone list will be the only thing that has you above the competition? See, he used Thanos, because if you guys watched that movie, he snapped his fingers and was like, the end of civilization as we knew it. Well, same thing. What if all of a sudden, like, the rules changed, a law changed, we couldn't run ads anymore? That could happen. If you were reliant on social media to bring in business, you're dead. But what if you were reliant on social media to bring in traffic that you own, so that now if that happens, you still have a way to stay in front of people. And whatever the next new thing is, you can upload that list to there and run ads to that. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that, but you can take your email list that you have right now, upload that to Facebook or YouTube, and run ads specifically to those people. Very powerful tool. Okay. The math gives you vision. If you truly know your numbers, if you're truly studying numbers like the ones I showed you earlier with the $2,000 ad budget, you'll never question advertising again. However, if you don't really know your numbers, paying for advertising will always seem like a cost. The truth is, it's not a cost. You know, you ask members that we work with, like, if you're really doing it right, it doesn't pay to work with Loud Rumor. We pay you to work with us. Meaning, yeah, there's a price, but you have more money in your account if you work with us versus if you didn't. Advertising should be a profit, not a cost, okay? Here's an example of how I want you to look at it. If you paid $2 for a pen and sold it for $3, it's an incredible margin at 33%. You don't see those types of margins in retail for stuff like this. If a member pays you $1,500 through the life of their membership and your profit is 20% net profit, you got a $300 profit off of them, and you paid $200 to acquire that member, it's still 3 to 2. You paid $200 to get them, you made $300 profit off of them. That's fantastic. That doesn't count referrals or anything else. That's great. That's a great deal. So at least 50% of your prospects is another good stat for you to know. According to HubSpot, 50% of your prospects are not going to be good fits. This is why you need to know, we need to constantly have a flow, a pipeline coming in. Because if we rely on a small pipeline, we're dead, right? So here's a good ratio, another study done by HubSpot with over 2,200 businesses, okay? New leads versus goals hit. 72% of companies that generated less than 50 leads in their business per month did not achieve their revenue goals. 72% of companies with less than 50 leads per month did not achieve their revenue goals. 15% of companies with 51 to 100 leads per month did not achieve their revenue goals, meaning 85% did. And 4% of companies with 101 to 200 leads per month did not achieve their revenue goals, meaning 96% did. Meaning the more at-bats you have, the more you're going to get on base. Can you improve your batting average, get on base more? Yes. But man, it's very hard to increase your conversion rate by the amount that you could maximize that potential versus how many leads you can constantly get flooding into your door, right? The more at-bats, the more you'll get on base. If you don't run paid ads, here's a question you gotta ask. What is your plan to scale? What's your plan? So don't be lazy. Some of the wealthiest people in the world are great marketers. Some of the best CEOs that you look up to and inspire you are incredible marketers, okay? If you wanna learn how the best of the best do it, how to market not just by running an offer, but you actually have a strategy, go to loudrumor.com/marketing-science. loudrumor.com/marketing-science, and I'll show you what I mean so that you, as a small business, can understand how big businesses market and learn how you can inject it into yours. By the way, Orange Theory, one of the most successful, arguably one of the most successful fitness studios in the space, they actually use this. And I show you 2 examples of how they do it in that training. Okay, it's 100% free, another gift to you, okay? By the way, McKenna, is my mouse on there? Because I see like the page thing on there. I just want to get it off the slide. Okay, no, not that, on yours. I see like page, there you go, perfect. Keep it on me, because I want to see how many people are on, but keep it off the slide, there you go. Okay, number 5, the fortune is in the follow-up, okay? Fortune is in the follow-up. Less than 5 minutes. What does this mean? If you call your leads in less than 5 minutes of them actually filling out the form, you have a 900% greater likelihood in making contact. It was a study done by MIT. okay, in less than 1 hour, this is a study done by HubSpot with over 2,200 Americans, if you call new leads within 1 hour of opting in, 1 hour, you have a 7 times higher likelihood of having a meaningful conversation with the decision maker. So it's not as good as 9 times, it's only 7 times, but you can see there's a difference between 5 minutes and 1 hour. But after that, a dramatic drop, okay? So you gotta make sure that you call your leads quickly. If you want a significantly better result, call them within 5 minutes. If you want a mediocre result, it's pretty good still, call them within an hour. Anything after that, just know your odds go down. How many times have you called leads hours later and they go, what is this again? They have no idea what they just filled out. You think that's gonna happen if you call them 2 minutes after they fill out the form? No. Chances are the phone's still in their hand and they might even still be watching the video on your thank you page, okay? 92% of salespeople give up after 4 no's, but 80% of prospects say no at least 4 times before they say yes. Think about that. 92% of salespeople give up after hearing no 4 times. That's it. They don't want it. They don't want it. But 80% of prospects say no at least 4 times before they say yes. So how many are you leaving on the table? It's like doing the slot machine 4 times and then walking away and letting the other guy come in, right? So that's the stat you want to know. 44% of salespeople give up after 1 follow-up call. After 1! 44%. Now, some of you might be saying, no, that's not my salespeople. That's crazy. Some of you, when you saw this stat, you probably said, oh, terrible. God, I can't believe people are that bad. So you think your salespeople are an exception? Shop them. Call them. Call your studio from another number and see what happens. Give them real info and see how they follow up. In fact, I had a franchise, I'm not gonna say who, but I had a franchise that said, sales isn't the problem, the leads are the problem. So I wanted to prove a point. And I ran this game called If I Had a Nickel. And in this game, I called 21 studios within the franchise, and I was a layup, meaning I called them saying, hey, I saw your ad on Facebook, and me and my wife wanna come in and do a workout. I'm a layup, I'm calling you, okay? I called at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday, between 3 and 4. So you should be taking phone calls. Like, it's Wednesday, 3 o'clock. What else are you doing? 11 of those 21 didn't even answer the phone. 11 out of 21 didn't even answer the phone. Only 1 of the 10 that did actually booked me. Now, some of you are saying, how hard were you on them? I wasn't that hard. Here's how hard I was. And you'll see it in the video if you like. When they said, yeah, I'd love to have you come. Sometimes people just talk for 30 minutes. Oh, not 30. It felt like 30. It was like 3, but it felt like 30 when you don't want to hear someone talk forever, right? But all the objection I gave them was, awesome. Can I get with my wife and talk with her and just find a time that really works and give you guys a call back? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Perfect. And that was how I got out of it. That was it. It wasn't even a no. It was, let me call my wife and get a schedule that works and I'll give you a call back. Oh yeah, just give us a call back anytime. My name's whatever, blah, blah, blah. Only 2 called me back. So out of the 20 that didn't sign up, and I left voicemails, out of the 20 that didn't sign me up for a booked appointment, only 2 of them called me back. And both of them called me back once. Is that a bomb? Can you imagine? Well, you might not have to. You might just have to call your fitness studio and find it. Oh, the public wants to watch that video? Ask and you shall receive, Patricia. Go to loudrumor.com/nickel-game. For the privacy of the franchise, you'll notice that I not only bleeped out any mention of their franchise name, but I also muffled my mouth if it looks like you can read my lips. So I protected them, so it's not out there, but you will hear how they answer the phone. You'll hear how those calls go. I condensed it, I think, what is it, like a 6-minute video? So I took out a lot of the Ring's 5-minute video, so you can see all of that like hour compressed, and you get the highlights of it. And yeah, so loudrumor.com/nickel-game. Go ahead and watch the video. Ask and you shall receive. I made that slide right after you asked me that. That's how fast I am. Speed wins. Okay. Also, bonus, there's a phone script. So if you go to loudrumor.com/nickel-game, not only you get to watch that video, but we're also going to send you a phone script that you can use in order to make sure that you get these appointments booked better. Okay? Cool? You guys liking some of these gifts I'm giving you? I'm giving you a lot of gifts today for free. All these are free. There's not like you have to buy anything to get it. Like just take the extra step and go to the link, right? You guys liking that? Yes? Okay. Who should you follow up with, right? We talk about follow-up being important. There's more than just your leads. Obviously, you got your new leads. Yes, you should be following up with them. But you should also be following up with paused members, especially right now. You know how many people have paused? You do know how many people, because you've been through this pandemic with me. How many people have paused that pause for reasons outside of they didn't like your workout? Absolutely follow up with paused members right now. Your best members. You should always be following up with your best members. Who is going to give you the most referrals? Your best members, your worst members, or your average? Who's going to give you, who's going to buy upsells and cross-sells anytime you do it? Who are you going to be able to upgrade into better programs? Your best people or everybody else? Your best people. And who do you never want to lose? Because you know they're a referral generating machine and they're a good income machine with a good lifetime customer value. Who do you never want to lose? Your best members. You should be spending more time paying attention to your best members. If you haven't watched a GSD episode that I did with Mike Michalowicz, it's called The Pumpkin Plan. He's the author of the book, The Pumpkin Plan. It talks about how the best businesses spend time with their best people, not just your members, but your employees as well, in order to really scale the business. You'll see exactly what he does, how he does it. You should also be following up with referral partners. So do you get referrals from like a certain massage place or a smoothie place or anywhere else that you've built relationships with? Okay, referral partners. Also, age leads. Hey, look, if you ran through your leads already, you ran through all this, go back and call age leads. They're still good. Allison, one of my salespeople, just said she signed up somebody from 4 months ago that she followed up with. 4 months ago. Wasn't ready then, is ready now. Okay? Understand if you don't do those things, and the fitness studio down the street from you is one of our top 5%, don't say they're lucky. Don't say they're growing because they're lucky. They're growing because they're doing what you won't, and therefore they get what you don't. That's how it works. Next, and these two are quick, squeeze all the juice out. There's more in that orange that you've started to ignore. You got more in there if you want to squeeze it out. McKenna, move the mouse. So there's 3 ways to increase sales. We talked about that. Number 1, get more members. Number 2, sell more to your members. And number 3, increase pricing. We're going to talk about selling more to your members now. Upselling and cross-selling, 2 different things. You want to first ascend your members into higher programs and increase margins with ancillary sales. Okay? Upsell to higher programs. That's number 1. They're more likely to get better results faster. And the number 1 reason members quit a fitness program is because they're not getting the results they want in the time they want it. So think about that. If you want people to stay with you longer, you should sell them the better things, which usually are the more expensive things. If not, you're going to lose that person faster, okay? Also, upsell to higher programs. You probably have already noticed that your best members are your highest paying ones. How many of you guys have noticed that your best members are your highest paying members? Say yes if you've noticed that. Also, cross-sell to other products. The money isn't in the burger, it's in the fries and the drink. In fact, McDonald's makes 6 cents on every dollar burger and 80 cents on every dollar drink or fries. People come for the burger, yes, but the profits soar with the sides, okay? So for you, ancillary sales, retail, supplements, water, drinks, products. I just did a GSD episode. One of our clients, actually I found that there's 2 now, that did $30,000 a month in sales on retail sales alone during the pandemic. During the pandemic. If you want, you can go watch that GSD episode. I think it was, like a month ago? And it was like, I think it's titled $30,000 in retail sales. Supplements, water, drinks, products, all these areas you should be making more money. And check this out. They'll be 80% more loyal. Customers that buy 2 or more products from a company are 80+% more likely to be loyal customers for longer. So think about that wonderful spiral. The ones that spend the most with you stay the longest. And if you want anyone to stay a while, it's the ones that spend the most. What a beautiful world. But you have to build that world. Otherwise, you're going to be in the world where we keep getting people quitting and we keep having churn and attrition and they don't even spend money when they're here and we're struggling to make money. Well, yeah, that's why, okay? Lastly, know the real objections and how to overcome them. The 5 most common objections are, don't have the money, got to talk to my husband or spouse, don't have the time, got to think about it, and I just want to try it out. These are the 5 most given objections, but they're not the 5 most common objections, okay? Now really quick, to avoid these in the first place, your intake form is your absolute, hands down, best tool. You need to be using your intake form as a sales tool, not as a formality, okay? There's a way to do it. If you guys want, go to loudrumor.com/intake-form. okay? And we'll actually give you a copy of the intake form that we give to our best clients here. So loudrumor.com/intake-form, and you guys can go ahead and use that, okay? So what's the real objection? Well, like we talked about a little earlier, the real objection is a lack of certainty, and it's always going to be in one of four categories. Either lack of certainty in the style of fitness, right? I don't know if spin is going to get me what I want. I want to build up my muscle. I want to get bigger shoulders. I want to get, better arms, and I just don't know if cycle is going to be the thing that gets me there. So lack of certainty, right? Number two, lack of certainty in the style of fitness. Number two, lack of certainty in the salesperson. I don't really know if I trust the guy. Now, they're not thinking that. That's just one of the reasons they won't buy. Just like, why don't you like that person? I don't know, I just don't, right? So I'm just not excited. But there's some people that you buy because they're so good at sales. Like they explain it to you. They broke it down. They had such certainty, such confidence in you getting to your goals and getting you what you want that you can't help but move forward, okay? Lack of certainty in the company. I don't know if I really want to work out here. It kind of looks grungy. That guy's walking around with his shirt off. I don't know if I like that. Some people might like that. And then lack of certainty in themselves, okay? This is a common one. I don't know if I can do it. I keep quitting these things. I don't want to join and then quit again. It's hard, right? This is why as a coach, you've got to believe in people more than they believe in themselves. They're really good at doing that once they join, but you got to do it in the sales process. The truth is, if you ask great questions early on, use your scripts, use the intake form, continue to press their hot button, the reason, the real why they're here, and present pricing the right way, closing a gym membership is easier than most make it out to be. And that's really what I wanted you guys to get a good amount today. And obviously we have a lot of trainings that we've done in the past, and I'm gonna keep doing more training. So make sure if you like this, subscribe to this video, comment, let me know that you liked it. And if you'd like to talk more, I'd love to work with you. I love my team to sit down and work with you. And this right here is like 20%, right? I don't even know if it's 20%. This is me just talking about 20%, but there's so much inside of that 20%, and there's so much more that we do here at Loud Rumor. And if you guys even just wanted to know more, I just want to know what it looks like. Like, what is it like to work with you guys? If you just want to know, go to loudrumor.com/demo. You'll get on a phone call with my team. My team will walk you through what we do, how we do it, why we do it, who we do it for. You'll know if you're a good fit. It won't be a high pressure deal because, again, that's not what real sales is about. It's about our ability to really present to you a program that solves a problem. And if it doesn't solve your problem, we're not going to sell it to you. We're going to recommend you to somewhere else. But if it does, we're going to present it in a way to where you fully understand it and you can make sense of doing it. And if you can't, then you shouldn't, right? But if you just want to know more, go to loudrumor.com/demo. And it might even be me that actually takes the call. So we'll see. It's going to be somebody from my team or myself. I'd love to talk with you guys more. I'd love to see you guys in the group. Did you guys like today's training? Did you get value in today's training? If so, comment and let me know the thing that you got the most value in. I'd love to know before you leave, what's one thing that you're definitely going to either focus on more, you're going to implement right away? What's the one thing that you got most excited about? If there's two, feel free to put two. But I really want to know because that helps me know what I should create future trainings in because I know that you guys like it. So maybe I'll get more specific in the referral thing because I noticed you really like that. Maybe I'll get more specific on the pricing strategy because I know that you guys really like that. So what is it that you got the most? First off, did you get value? And number two, what is the thing that you really, really appreciated most? And I'll create more stuff around that. I'm interested in that. And overall, just what did you guys think? Okay, Allison, 10 out of 10 value. Patricia, wow, scripts galore. This is so much. Delphin, I'm a repeat buyer. Great investment. Yes, Delphin, I can't sell you anything else. I think you've bought everything we've got here at Loud Rumor. So thank you so much for being such a good client. Sean, this was huge. Thank you very much. Richard, referrals and mindset. Yes, good. I'm glad somebody says mindset. A lot of people don't think they've got a mindset challenge, but it's good. Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Focus on referrals. Thank you, F45 Training Naples. I appreciate you guys. I love working with F45, by the way. In fact, I think my team, we had like 7 or 8 of you guys working out at F45 doing the challenges. Manny, attitude and mindset. Patricia, priceless, always. Leia, already banned try. Now I'll be a tiger. Yes, drop a bomb on Leia or Leah. Drop a bomb on her. Okay. Melt RX, the scripts, referrals. Bernadette, great training. I will make an intake sheet. Fantastic. Sarah, mindset is our biggest challenge. Okay, Sarah, that's okay. Keep coming to this stuff. And remember, it's about surrounding yourself with these people. So really engage with the other people in the group and feed off of them, right? You hanging around enough of the right people with the right mindset, you don't have to change your mindset. They change it for you. It's really cool. So it's hard to do it regularly, especially right now with the pandemic. It's made it a little harder, but you definitely do it. Outside of that, guys, thank you so much for the feedback that you gave me. Thank you so much for giving me so much of your time today. I promised I would make it valuable to you. I hope I gave away a lot of stuff so that you can be successful. I hope this stuff makes you the amount of money. If you're not working with us yet, I just ask one question. If any of the stuff that we gave you for free made you more money than anything else you've done, use that money and work with us, because our paid stuff's way better than our free stuff. Okay? Thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next training.